Hello, dear. How are you today? By the way, I spoke with Mr. Johnson and he's livid. Seems someone scratched up his priceless Tucker. If he finds out who, there'll be heck to pay. Edna's daughter Karen has disappeared. Karen was playing outside as Edna closed the diner, and that's the last anyone saw of her. This happened Tuesday night. That's all I know except for what's on the posters. Don't forget to put the papers out for Jimmy. You know how he gets.
What do you want, Steve? That's right, I think I got the flu.
Maybe you'd feel better if you stopped watching television and went to bed.
Maybe you'd be quiet with a steak knife in your heart.
What?
Just leave me alone, Steve. Believe me, you got your own problems. I heard that someone took Karen. Little Miss Perfect gonna get famous. Gonna get a picture on a milk carton.
She's disappeared. That's all we know.
Yeah. Well, I heard that Karen was gone. So I went over to Miss Fitzgerald's house and asked if I could play with Karen. Her mom just stood there, you know, in the doorway, and cried and cried. And I just stood there, wondering how long it would take for her to stop. But she didn't. So I went inside and watched TV, 'cause they've got color, 'cause Edna has money, 'cause she runs the diner and all. And I sensed she was feeling vulnerable, so I asked her to fix me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And she did. Then I went into Karen's bedroom and looked around for stuff I could take, while Edna was in the bathroom with the water running. But all that there was girl stuff. So I came home. But it was fun while it lasted. I'm evil? You don't know what evil is. Mom says the blood drive is coming, Steve. You'll like that. It's for a good cause. And only bad people don't give. Good. Finally. Hey, Steve, you've been doing a swell job putting the paper out in the morning. You just keep doing that and we won't have any problems. That's not much to ask, is it? See you later, alligator.
Did you say hello to your father for me? Thank God for that, at least. I could use some good news right now. I just got the word. The order turned down my latest application. Looks like we'll be having the wedding at Moynihan's after all. So, what's new, Steve? How could anyone do something so terrible to her?
You think someone took her?
I think? Oh no, see, it was a kidnapping, haven't you heard? The sheriff got a ransom note. Seems someone wants to dip into Edna's larder. Too bad such a sweet little thing has to suffer. I'm sure I couldn't tell you, Steve. Why so interested? A word to the wise, Steve? You leave that kind of stuff to the sheriff. This isn't something you want to be messing with.
Why not?
There are better ways for you to spend your time. Have you applied to the lodge yet? There's no time like the present, believe me. You should apply, and soon. Someone went and scraped up Johnson's car? Can you imagine? He'd step in a bear trap and chew his own leg off rather than suffer a scratched Tucker. Serves the rich bastard right, if you ask me.
You might want to be extra nice to Mr. Potsdam today, Steve. He was turned down by the lodge again. Guess we're having the wedding at Mr. Moynihan's after all. Have you heard that Edna's daughter Karen has disappeared? These things happen. You just have to deal with them, step by step, one day at a time. Why, let me think. Oh yes, that was the night our upstairs bathroom toilet backed up. Mr. Swell was kind enough to come over and fix it for us. It took most of the night.
Then you and Mr. Potsdam were both home.
Oh yes, we rarely step out on weeknights. Mr. Potsdam and I just used the downstairs facilities and stayed in the rest of the night and flossed together in full sight of each other at all times. And everything was fine, just fine. Give my regards to your parents.
Steve, I'm so glad you came back. What have you been doing?
I visited the lodge. Talked to the sergeant-at-arms there. He knows that there's something out of whack here. He told me if I wanted to find out what it is, I should join the lodge. I've decided to join the lodge, Stephanie. I think the answer to all our questions is inside.
That place. It's so sinister. You may be playing right into their hands. Did you think of that? Doesn't it seem like you're being herded toward the lodge?
That's one of the things I hope to find out.
I hope finding out doesn't get you killed. My faux mother keeps me up on the latest gossip. Not like she really wants to talk to me. More like she's feeding me information. For instance, she told me that Mr. Johnson's Tucker was vandalized. That's another weird thing. Every car I've seen drive by is a Tucker. There were only 31 produced. What are the odds of that?
I've always wanted a Tucker. Funny that Harvest would be full of them.
Any idea who scratched the car? Why would you do something like that?
It's part of the lodge initiation.
I see.
Look, I don't know what's going on here, but getting into the lodge is the best way to find out.
By committing vandalism? Well, I guess you'll fit right in, won't you?
Scratching a car is no big deal. Getting out of this mess is.
Sorry. When you put it that way, I guess I was overreacting. I understand that a little girl is missing.
That's right. Her name's Karen.
I heard the pod parents talking about it downstairs. When did it happen?
Tuesday night.
God, that was a bad night for everyone. Tuesday, our upstairs toilet backed up. As if that wasn't bad enough, Mr. Potsdam was livid, almost irrational. Like the toilet had it in for him personally. Through the wall, I kept hearing him ask somebody named Mr. Swell whether the toilet would be fixed by dark. And when Swell said it'd take most of the night to fix, Daddy totally lost it. Swell said he'd stay all night and fix it, but that didn't seem to help. Potsdam stormed out of the house and didn't come back till next morning.
Mrs. Potsdam told me that Potsdam didn't go out on Tuesday night.
Well, I'm not lying. I saw him through the window just before dawn. When he stepped beneath the porch light, I could see he was covered with mud. That was one weird night. Guess all hell broke loose, didn't it? Come back and visit me soon, okay?
Thank God I found you. Are you alright, Karen?
I want to go home. Could you take me to my mommy's store? Or to the policeman?
Can you tell me who did this to you?
Mr. Potsdam told me he'd hurt my mommy if I told.
He won't do anything, I promise. Tell me what happened.
He made me play house. Then he dug a hole. Please, I just want to go home now. Please.
Can you tell me your address, honey?
I don't know. Just take me to the store or the policeman. Please. Mommy said to go to the policeman if I got lost. And I'm lost.
Oh my God! Karen! Thank God! What happened?
Found her in the graveyard. She was buried alive. And she claims Mr. Potsdam was responsible.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you from both of us. Here's the reward money. Take it and go. I need to be alone with my baby right now.
Bye-bye.
If it isn't my favorite son-in-law, what brings you here again? Yeah, I know what that crazy little bitch said, but it's not true. I was at home that night. Mrs. Potsdam will vouch for me. Isn't that right, Mrs. Potsdam?
That's right, Mr. Potsdam. Hello, Steve. Care to stay for some pot roast?
Forget the pot roast, Mother. Pot roast isn't for backstabbers, for persecutors. I won't share my meat with him. My meat! My meat!
It's the truth, that's why. And I think you'd better be going, young man, before I call your mother and tell on you.
Hello, Steve. Care to buy anything today? Just point to whatever you want. I'm a little hard of hearing. Steve, you live close to Mr. Johnson. How is he taking it? Such wanton vandalism. It just breaks my heart. I'll have to send him a nice fruit basket, though if he wants some new paint and sealant, it'll cost him.
Some rotten son of a bitch scratched my car. My Tucker, my baby, my poor darling, my sweet cheeks. If I find out who did it, I'll kill him. Just kill him dead. I told that fool sheriff to beef up the patrols, but what does he care? Nobody cares about a limp dick fat boy. Well, I'll make them care. I'll make them care. Good work rescuing Karen. Of course, you queered my play with Edna. But I suppose a little girl's life is more important than my sex life, right? Bye now.
Steve, is that you? Come to see your poor old dad?
Are you my father? Really? I don't remember you.
Please. I'm not in the mood for jokes.
I'm serious. Why won't anyone believe me?
Well, you always were a kidder, Steve. Just don't make me laugh now. Remember the stitches.
My God. What has she done to you?
She doesn't know you're here, does she? Does she?
No, I had to break in. What the hell is going on in here?
I know it's a mystery to you. The sacred things that husbands and wives do behind closed doors. Maybe we should have that special father-son talk. Especially now that you're getting married. But you need to be forewarned. You need to know what to look out for. The hobby horse and the Jello.
It's all right. Don't get worked up. You need your rest.
Yes, rest. But why did you come? You must have had a reason for risking it.
I need some meat, and Pat won't give me any without your signed permission.
Good old dependable Pat. Here, son. Here's my signature. Take it to him, and you won't have any problem. Now go, son. Go quickly, before she comes back.
Can't talk now, Steve. I've got to hose out some entrails. Don't be such a stranger, Steve. And my best to your dad. So, your father okayed the meet, huh? How's he doing? Good, good. Glad to hear it. Here's your meat, son. You run along now. A new shipment of animals has come in, and it's time to start cutting.
Well, that didn't work. Still here, eh?
Where else would I go, Steve? Have you gotten your lodge application in yet?
Yes.
Good. You may survive yet.
All right.
Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because